So I observed Mrs. Marshall's geometry class. Going in, Miss Marshall's a well-respected teacher, so I'm expecting to see what a model classroom should look like going into it. This is just a regular class. It's not a pre-AP class or co-teach or anything that's special. It's a academic geometry class, so I'll get to see the challenges that she faces when she's dealing with regular kids, so to speak. Things that I'm going to be looking for is how often she checks for understanding, her questioning of the students, making sure that the students are engaged most of the time in the activity that she's presenting. Also, I'm interested to see how much time she allows the students to spend with each other, sort of working in partners or in groups. Of course, we never want us to. We never wanted for just to be us up there talking for 45, 50 minutes in a row. So these are all the things that I'm going to be keying on, and during the course of this video, I also want to see how she does with the classroom management stuff. I want to see that any student gives her any trouble or she has an issue, how she deals with that. So those are the things that I'll be focused on.
got about 64% there. 36% awake. Again. Oh, you're still taking it. Leave them alone. 2 more minutes. Okay, you need to be finishing up your quizzes. Anyone, show of hands, who still needs more time on the quiz? More time? You need more time? One more time? Okay, for those of you who failed that quiz, we're still taking it. You probably didn't know the material as good as you should, right? Because if you are taking this long, that means that you didn't know the material well enough to be done with it already. Okay? The longer you take, it kind of shows me that you didn't really know what the question was asking, even though every question that was given to you was like a question that we covered in class. Okay? So, you need to look over your notes, and the quiz is still up, and you have 3 tries. Okay? So that's something you need to do on your own time. Okay? Alright. I am moving on. Okay. Before I move on, I got to make sure you understand what these 2 things are. What are these 2 things in black? guys. I'm gonna take it by that silence, we do not remember. Okay. These are different forms of equations of lines. Right? And we can write equations of lines using more than one form, right? Y'all remember going from this form to this form last year? A little bit? Okay. What was cool about this form? Y'all remember? What does it use? A point and slope. So all I need to write an equation in this form is a point and slope. What did I need for this one? To write an equation in slope-intercept form. We needed a slope and y-intercept. What was y-intercept? What is that? Where it intersects the y-axis. So if this line, that point right there, that's a y-intercept. Okay? And we said for this one, all we needed was a point and then the slope of a line, right? That's all we needed to write it in an equation of a line. So y'all ready? We're going to use this form. Okay? Can you make sure that this is in your notes for me real quick? Guys, if you can shut your laptops so they're not distracting us. Alright. Okay, so this time I'm not really going to use this guy. Okay? Now that I'm in geometry, I'm going to focus on this guy. Because all I need is any point, not just the y-intercept, I need any point. Okay. So here I'm given a point and a slope. So which equation am I going to use? The one that uses a point and a slope. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to demonstrate on number 1. So I have the equation right here. Right? So I label my point, x1, y1. Y'all remember doing this? And then there's my slope. Now all I do is plug in. Okay, I'm going to change colors so we know what we're plugging in. Two, 1, and what's my slope? See where everything goes? Alright, copy that into your notes. This is my answer. Is this an equation of a line? It is. It's an equation of a line in point-slope form. Okay, easy. All we had to do was what? Plug it in, right? Alright, so let's try number 2. What am I doing every time? I am writing out what I'm plugging into. Okay? Then I write out without the variables. Why would I do that? So I know what I'm filling out. Does this first y ever change? No. Does that other x ever change? No, they are part of the equation. You remember when you did this one, y equals mx plus b, you only plugged in the slope and you only plugged in y-intercept. This is the same deal. Those stay the same. Okay? Make sense? Okay. So guys, Marshall,
Yes.
come plug in. Yeah, the other Marshall in the classroom.
I'm in the row.
You can go
Water? Yeah, hurry up. Alright, what's the first thing we do though? I didn't label it. What do you have to do? Label. Okay, Now plug in. Wait, you forgot something. There's a blank not filled in. Perfect. Okay, guys. Are we done? Pretty much. The only thing that I would change is this right here. What's happening right there? A negative. We're subtracting a negative, which means we are adding. That's the only thing I would change. Now I'm done. Good job. Thank you. Easy? Okay. Write it down. I'm going to scroll down. Write it down, and then I'm going to scroll to a different type of questioning. The 24th. Every day. Okay, y'all done?
In my case, I had the same job for 3 years. No, those things.
Okay.
Doesn't mean
Are you
have
good?
to. We can choose it. Yeah, but we can use bonuses if we want.
All right. So now we've got something other going on. We were given, I'm gonna have to erase this because you can't see the. Okay. Write the equation of the line when it passes through these 2 points. So do we have what we need to write it in this form? Do we have slope? Uh-oh. What do I do? I find the slope. I've got 2 points. My first step now is to find slope. How do I find slope? Slope formula. The change in y's over the change in x's. Alright, so I gotta label both these points. x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay? Y'all remember the formula? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, great. All right, let's plug them in. -7 minus 7, 6 minus 6. Uh-oh. -14 over 0. What happens when we have over 0? Y'all remember any number over 0 is unhappy, right? Spells no. What kind of slope do we have? Slope is y'all don't remember the word? this was, if 6 minus 6 was the y's, we would have 0 slope, right? Y'all remember the x and y axis? This one was 0 slope, m equals 0. And what was this one? What was that one? Really? We don't remember?
I never had it.
Why don't we look at Slope Man? What did Slope Man say?
He said something.
Do we remember Slope Man? What if he had positive, negative? What did his nose stand for? Undefined. Slope is undefined. Okay, so what's an equation of this kind of line gonna look like? Y'all remember? It's still, alright, let's draw it on a graph, guys. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 1 point, and then we have 6, negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What kind of line is this? Where'd it go? Vertical. Okay. What's the equation of a vertical line look like? Let's look at the x's, guys. Do you see how x, right here, what is it both times? So what does x equal here? What does x equal here? What does x equal here? So what do you think the equation is? Is it y? X. Because x equals 6. Done. Equation.
Since 1 is 0, you don't have to write it down.
We don't know the slope, right? It's undefined to us. So, and technically makes the y go away, because it doesn't matter. It's like multiplying the y by 0. This is the equation. Are we good?
Yeah.
Alright, let's try number 2. Let's try number 2. Okay, number 2. It passes through 2 points, so what do I have to do? First step, find slope. Okay? Alright, so slope is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Label your parts of your point. Okay? Plug it in. What goes in for y2? Minus a minus 5, right? And then what goes on bottom? Positive 3 minus 2. Okay, what happens here with the negative negative? It becomes positive, alright? And negative 1 plus 5 is positive 4. And then what's on bottom? 1. 3 minus 2 is 1. Alright, so our slope is 4. Okay. Can I plug it in to my equation now? Do I have a point and a slope? I do. So let's plug it in. Okay. Ronaldo, can you come plug it in for me? Get the dog there. Oh. Come on. Do it, do it, do it. I think that's right. Does it matter which point you use? No. Alright, it goes on this first plate. Yeah. You can use one of those, yeah. Okay, guys. Can I use either of these points? Yeah. What one am I probably going to use? The one that is first, right? Because it's already labeled appropriately. So what is y1 up there? So write -5. Alright, what's my slope? 4. And then what is my x1?
2.
Where did we get it from? There we go, 2. Perfect. Alright. Am I done? No. There's only one thing I would do before I said I was done, and what is that?
Change the
Negative, negative, plus. Alright guys, there's an assignment on Blackboard. You should be able to do the whole first page. I already did most of it. Guys, I did the first 2. Can you do 3, 4, 5, and 6?
Did you have a minute left?
Alright. It's on Blackboard. 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's homework.
It says it's not found. Marshall.
Well, you
Okay,
can.
I'll
Y'all
fix it.
need to like what 6? Yeah, but we don't know. We running the bathroom. These. Oh, you gotta got your
Chiefs.
I'm talking about it.
It didn't say.
We did
That, they were saying
we just got
just,
that's it.
yeah, you
The highs can be 90.
The part of you leaning forward to turn it off.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Don't worry about that. All right, so after witnessing Miss Marshall's class, there's a couple notes that I took. First, the positive stuff. I think she did a really good job of explaining the concept. When students had questions, she addressed them. So that was pretty good. Areas that she would work on, that I think she could work on, is when she is questioning the students, especially doing a choral response where she's asking the class as a whole. She has a tendency to answer her own question. I know she did this when she was asking about the angles, and she just asked and waited 1 or 2 seconds, and before anybody could blurt anything out, or before she even gives anybody a chance, she just answered her own question. And she did this quite a few times during the course of the video. Perhaps more proximity would also help. It would appear that there were a few students who were off task during the video. So maybe if she walked around some more, that would be helpful to her. So having the kids be responsible for their learning by having them actually answer the questions is something that I think she could work on. And then the proximity, moving around the classroom. Other than that, I thought it was a really good lesson that she gave. I think a number of the kids were engaged in it. I wouldn't say the whole class, but I mean, it's almost impossible to get 100% of kids engaged in whatever it is you're doing 100% of the time. She did do some redirection when she needed to. She didn't have any classroom management issues, so I thought that was pretty cool. That's, I'm sure, attributed to the fact that she set in procedures and has a certain way of doing things every single day, so the kids know what is expected of them. Other than that, I would just go back now. I would have to address to her, after telling her all the positives, I would go back and address what it is that I think she could work on, and really it would be the walking around and the questioning. I mean, she had good questions, but if you don't let the students answer, then what's the point of asking them? So that's definitely something I would want to talk to her about if I was doing her observation and I was grading her. But other than that, I thought she did an excellent job, very proficient, obviously a teacher that knows what she's doing, and all of her experience and knowledge, it shows.